And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on site, on location at the Wildcat Sports Pub, 3680 Milton Avenue at Camillus, New York, right over the hill from West Genesee High School. And we are here with the Wildcats of softball. Let's give them a round of applause for the softball team. I have head coach John Bubb with me, as well as Leah Todeschini and Kyra Lynch and Maria Brandt. So coach, first and foremost, you have to share with coach. Coach, how are you? How are things?
I'm good, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Now, we got to have this show last year, and since then you've taken over leadership of the team. So what can you say about that transition?
Well, you know, coaching with Coach Cicerelli for 4 years prior, this is probably one of the most seamless transitions of all time. We've been working with these players for a number of years. And Coach Cicerelli left this program in good hands and in good shape to turn it over.
So I want to get a thought of what your student athletes think about this changeover. Leah, just what you could say about Coach and this change, and what do you think about Coach Bubb being the leader of the program?
I really enjoy it because
Yeah, you're out.
I enjoy it because Coach Bubb is my favorite, and I feel like him becoming head coach has put like one of the players at almost.
Yeah, go ahead.
At like he's almost like everyone feels just so comfortable with him. Like good chemistry.
Good chemistry. Do you feel like it was seamless from one coach to the next?
Yeah, I
Yeah?
think it was seamless. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about Coach Bubb?
I think his energy.
His energy.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Maria. What's your favorite thing about Coach?
I agree with what Leah said, but like, it's what do you say before every game? It's a great day to play softball.
Yeah.
He has like this quote that he uses, and it like gets our energy up and gets us like hyped for every game.
Yeah. It's a great day to play softball. What's been your favorite day this season to play softball?
Probably our first game because he had very little faith in us, but we proved him wrong.
So what was it about that first game that you felt like y'all came together?
Well, CNS had played a lot of games before us, not a lot, but a few, and it was our first. And I felt like once we just like got going and winning, like the energy was up, and we were just like happy the whole game and just kept like doing better as the game went on.
What is this on your hand?
It's a henna. It's from fall.
Okay. And what was the reason for it? Is there a purpose to this one, or you just like what it looked like?
It's that just she had a little thingy. It's not permanent, but she
Yeah.
just I told her to do whatever she wanted.
Do whatever she wanted.
Yeah,
You think
so
she did a good job?
Yeah, except I messed it up right there.
Okay. No worries. Kyra, what's your favorite thing about Coach?
I don't probably just the way he like jokes with us and the way he'll match our energy. I guess he'll have fun with us rather than. I mean, he's serious, but like he'll joke with us.
So that serious and also funny kind of back and forth, do you think he knows when to switch it to the right thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, plain and simple. Okay, fair enough. Do you have a favorite moment from this season so far?
Probably when we were losing to Central Square, and then we came back and won it in like the 7th inning. Because we were down by like a couple runs, and then we didn't stop, and we just kept going and we won.
What is it about this team that you just continue on, keep going, believe in yourselves from game one to right now, whether there was adversity or not? What can you say about this team's fight to never give up?
I think we always have that fight. Like, I feel like no matter how much we're losing by or how much we'll always fight as if we are losing 1-0, and we'll just keep going no matter what.
Your teammates are up here with you, but they're also off camera. Kyra, tell me off camera who the funniest person is on the team. Who brings the comedy? I gotta know.
Well, I feel like me and Ridley have a lot of laughs because I feel like we're the closest, but overall I feel like
So sarcasm. Can anybody do a good impression of Coach? Leah? Can anyone do a good impression of Coach?
Oh, an impression coach?
Impression, yeah, a good impression.
Have a day, have a day.
Is there anybody that you think has done it in practice very well? Has done a good impression in practice?
Yeah. She's like a mini coach. She's a team captain.
You're like a mini coach. Would you agree with that? So, being a team captain, what is it that you believe leadership has to have, in your opinion?
I think it's not only like one leader. I think there is like one big leader, but I think everyone has to lead as a team and like come together.
What have you learned about your personal leadership?
I don't know. I feel like I'm more like on the quiet side. I'm sure being a captain, but like I always want to make sure that everyone always feels welcome. And I feel like I really like especially towards me in general. Like I remember my freshman year when I came, I always wanted to have like a senior who would lead me and always like count on. And that's what I strive to be.
So, you always wanted people to feel welcome like you felt welcome.
Yes.
By a round of applause, y'all feel welcome by Leah. She's doing a good job. All right. Maria, who on this team is the serious, focused, hardest person to get to laugh?
Michaela.
Michaela? Okay.
Or Anna.
Okay.
I feel like they get so like locked in that when they do laugh, like it's just like a little, but they never like are dying laughing like themselves.
Who can get them to laugh? If they're the hardest to get to laugh, who can break the silence?
I don't know.
I feel like I make Kayla laugh.
Fair? You agree?
I feel like me and Anna. Yeah, probably Kyra. Kyra always has something to say.
Maria, for you this year, we talked about how that game one, you guys just banded together and did something that maybe wasn't even expected right off the bat. Has there been a personal moment for you where you felt like you went beyond what you even expected of yourself this year?
Yeah, when we played FM, they like, I don't want to say, they earned their runs, but they had a lot of them on us, and then I went in the second inning, and I think they only scored like one run after that. It was like 7 runs in the first inning, and then I think it was only like 1 or 2 runs after that for the rest of the game.
What's been your favorite part of pitching for this team?
Like a favorite game.
Your favorite game, favorite moment? Not just this season, but in general, is there anything that sticks out? Do you have a favorite strikeout?
Well, I would say my cousin, but I didn't strike her out.
Okay.
Probably Mackenzie for inning.
Okay. Bring us into what happened.
I just struck her out. I don't
Okay.
know.
All right.
She's
All right.
like one of like the fastest. Well, she is probably the fastest pitcher that we face. So like
Yeah.
when we play them, it's either like we hit fine or we like get in our heads and struggle. So I feel like she's like the strongest in my head. So like striking her out is like good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations. I don't know if we've ever in 8 years had a full name drop on the broadcast.
How
So,
many people are on this?
Kyra, for you, being a part of this group, it's more than just wins and losses. It's more than just games. What can you say about the friendships on this team and what it's done for you?
I think everyone is friends with everyone. Like, there's not one person that wouldn't say a good person off the next. I just feel like this team has so much chemistry, like, off the field. Like, we're all, like, best friends. So I feel like it helps a lot in our game. We know each other so well.
Knowing each other as well as you do, who would you trust to be up at the end of a game and get the hit that you need to win? If you had to pick one.
Probably Brinley.
Probably Brindley? Okay.
I feel like she has the highest batting average,
Okay.
and I feel like she always hits the ball.
Who, if you were on another team, would you think would be the toughest to play against personally for your game? If one of your teammates is on another team.
I feel like Anna, because she hits a lot of line drives, and I don't know, I feel like she always hits them in the gap, so I'm really, yeah.
Leah, what about for you? Who's that teammate that you think challenges you the most?
Maybe Alana. I think Alana challenges me the most. She's really strong behind the plate and can hit the ball very well.
Leah, for you?
I was gonna say Alana too.
Okay.
I feel like she's very like competitive. Like when we go in the field, like she knows what she wants and she's like serious and like confident about it. And I feel like just like locks everybody together.
Before we get into Coach saying something good about each of you and why you're up here, softball is a sport that I think has over time gotten more love. We've seen more on television. There's been a little more emphasis on it, but it's not enough. I think we can all agree it's not enough. What can we do, Maria, I'm going to start with you. What can we do right now to put a spotlight on softball that would make you proud of the way that they handle it? What can we do in the media, for college, for high school, that would make you feel like it's really gotten to the next level?
I want to say I have no idea, but
What would you like to see?
I feel like if not that this is like, I mean it's possible, but not that it would be like as like usual. But I feel like people that were like more like famous or like known, like helped more in like camps and like came to practices and like went to television, like so it was like the spotlight was on somebody that like everybody kind of knew of, or like coaches that were known, like people that everybody could be like, oh wow, and then it's like the attention's drawn and then brings everybody to the sport and softball.
So more emphasis on people utilizing their platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
I agree with Maria. I feel like if there's more people that you know look up to, like playing the sport, that little kids are going to want to play more.
What about you, Kyra? What can we do to get more of a spotlight?
I feel like we stopped comparing it to like baseball. And I feel like everyone says, oh, baseball's so much farther, fences and all this, but they also don't realize that we pitch from so much closer. So I feel like we need to stop comparing it to baseball and more like it is our own sport.
Coach, your thoughts on all this, knowing that softball has had a little bit more, we've seen a little bit more. I know in the college world we're able to have it in front of us a little bit more, but 2003 when I started my career, they said we're going to do men's basketball. I said we're going to do both. I said if we're not doing women's, I'm not broadcasting. So back then I saw the importance of women's athletics. I like that there's some emphasis, but I don't think that in 20 years we've done enough. What can we do for softball?
I tell you, I think it's the players themselves that are doing it right now. Whether it's the college athletes or these high school athletes, they are performing, they are showing that they can compete, that they're growing the sport. They may not realize it, they're looking up at the other people that are also leading the way, growing the sport. It just takes a few name brands, whether you're looking at I know we've got some TVs on here. We've got WNBA with Caitlin Clark. We got the Oklahoma State and Michigan softball games going on. Just getting more exposure, seeing more people, but then also giving back, like the players mentioned here, is giving back, getting younger people exposed to the game and seeing some of the older girls. We have a couple opportunities that we do here, even locally, just growing the game, and that's getting them out in front of our 10U, 12U teams, just so that they can see how they drill, how they work, and get that personal connection and that love for the sport, and kind of continue to build.
Why do you coach it? Why do you love the sport?
Well, I love the sport for a couple different reasons. Like most, started out on the baseball side, but fell in love with the game because you can play it so many different ways. There's a lot of similarities to baseball, but I agree with Kyra, it's a different sport. You can be a speedster that just hits gap to gap. You can be, a slugger that hammers the ball. You can be a pitcher that just mows people down with speed or a lot of spin and no speed. So there's just so many ways to play. And then obviously, me personally, it's a get-to job. I get to do this. I don't have to do this, but it's the players that make it real special for me.
Leah, for you, why softball? Why did you want to be a part of this?
Of the program or the sport?
The sport?
My mom put me in t-ball when I was like 4, so I kind of just grew up around it, and I feel like a lot of these girls I grew up with, like Leah, Kyra, Christina I've known for a while, Michaela, Mackenzie. I feel like I've just known everybody because we all grew up playing tennis together. But I don't know. I feel like I was just grown into it, so it just became normal.
When did you fall in love with it? Your mother's laugh was very clear when I asked that question.
Probably when I started pitching.
Started pitching?
'Cause I feel
Mom,
like-
yes, would you agree? When she started pitching? Yes, okay.
I played first, but I feel like whenever, because I feel like at first you don't get a lot of balls, unless they're play is to you, but you don't field a lot, so I didn't feel like I was getting as much. But I feel like being the pitcher, I feel like I'm always doing something because I cannot stand still, so it was better.
Fair enough. Leah, when did you fall in love with softball?
Probably middle school, when things trying to be part of a team, making connections with friends, and that's started falling in love with it.
For you now, having played it and been around this sport and gotten to know your teammates and have a lot of memories personally of it, would you suggest that somebody does try out for this West Genesee team for the future?
Yes, especially being a senior, all the memories I've made on the team, it'll last forever.
Kyra, for you, when did it start in softball?
I started playing softball, I think when I was 3. I think my dad and my brother both played baseball, so I think they just put me in softball because they both played it. And then, my dad has coached me. He still does coach me to this day. So I feel like, I don't know, it's just always been a personal connection between us two because it's always something I do with my dad. And it's I don't know. I feel like I've always loved it just because it's always something I've gotten to do with him.
I know how important family is, and I know that I've been in this building when I talk about the importance of grandparents and parents. So the fact that it means so much to you because of your connection to your dad, can we clap up, show some love for family? I think we need to do that. So, we'll shout out Dad on the live feed. So what's Dad's first name?
Mike.
Mike? What's up, Mike? How you doing, Mike? What's your favorite thing about Pops?
My favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about part of the softball is the fact that everyone calls him Michelle. So
Michelle.
he's coached Leah, he's coached Maria, he's coached all of us, and it's not Coach, it's not Mike, it's Michelle.
Okay.
So that's probably my favorite part about that. And then just personally, he just always makes jokes with me. I don't know. We always just joke around. We always make my mom mad with it. So.
Well, Maria, we've heard from your mom and her snicker during the broadcast. Kyra, you've called out your dad. So Leah, it's only fair to talk about your parents. So what do you want to say to your parents?
My mom's definitely my biggest supporter. She shows up to every game, and I have 2 younger sisters, so she used to always go to their games too. But she always makes time to stop by and watch my games. She's always there.
Shout out to family. It's time to play rapid fire. So we get to put each other on the hot seat. We get to go 2 questions apiece. You guys get to put me on. I get to put you on. Maria, you get to ask me the first question. Once again, West Genesee Wildcats softball right here at the Wildcat Sports Pub on Wake Up Call. What is your first question?
Anything?
Anything in the world. We're only live to the world on YouTube, Facebook, and Podbean. And after tonight, we'll be on Spotify, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Audible. You can ask Alexa, you can ask Google Play or Google Home. So what do you got for me? Yeah.
Who was the most famous person you've done this with?
Most famous person that's ever been on the show?
Yeah.
Well,
But like somebody like popular, like
Yeah.
everybody would know.
well, there's been over 5,000 guests on Wake Up Call, and I can honestly say that there's nobody I wouldn't have back. So it's a hard question to answer, but I'd have to give it up to my angel in the sky, somebody who is larger than life, who I never thought in a million years that I would know him, let alone be friends with him, is Floyd Little. And Floyd Little, I mean, if you know Syracuse, you know Floyd. If you know 44, you know Floyd. If you know the Broncos, you know Floyd. And if you knew humility, sacrifice, community, service to others, you knew Floyd. So I gotta say Floyd, because when I decided to start my own company, I went to my mom, my G-Mama, my mom's mom. So mom, dad, G-Mama, and Floyd. Those are the four people that were a part of my circle when I made that decision, and I never in a million years thought that Floyd and I would be friends, let alone really close friends where I could count on him to really talk about anything. So I'd say Floyd. But there's a lot of people, so it's hard to choose because there's a lot of good people out there. All right, Maria, my first one to you is, if you had to get a real tattoo, it's not henna, what tattoo would you get? What's up, Mom? What tattoo would you get, and what would it be? What's this tattoo, and what's the significance of it?
Well, I have one kind of planned with my sisters,
Okay.
and we don't really know for sure yet. It was supposed to be like the 3 flowers that each like represent a month.
Okay.
But me and my sister are both June, so I feel like I have 2 sisters, and my one sister is gonna have 2 of the same flowers, so it might look funny. So I don't have like a set one, but I wanted to get one with them, and I've always wanted like a Bible verse or just something. You're probably gonna ask me what my favorite one is. I have no idea.
Okay.
But the past like probably 4 or 5 years, I've gotten close with like God, and I keep going to like church and like with my friends, and so I've always wanted to like kind of put something on me, but I don't really know what, 'cause it's permanent, and I think about it a lot.
Yeah.
That's all my Pinterest is, but I really don't know.
Well, I can tell you that the world needs a lot more people feeling comfortable saying what you just said, so thank you for having that relationship and shouting it out. Coach, that is also very important. Coach, your first question for me?
Besides softball, because you know that's your first answer, what is your personal favorite sport?
It's got to be the one where I can shut my brain off and I played my whole life. It's got to be basketball. It's just one of those things where like I don't need anybody there. I don't need any music. I literally need nothing. I just need the ball and the hoop, and I challenge myself. Like anybody that's watched me play, like there's a playground by my home, and I'll just go out there and shoot. Anybody that's watching from those houses, I wonder what they're thinking, because I will make myself shoot from everywhere. I'll make myself work on certain moves. I'll stay in one spot for a long time. Like I have to feel good about what I'm doing on the court, and I'm always going to be that way. But I actually played for, shout out Camillus, St. Joe's, and I just found my varsity plaque that we had. But we were the #1 team my last year. We set a record in JV, and it's still one of my fondest memories. We were like the Mighty Ducks of basketball. So I love those guys, and I think about them fondly a lot. So I would say basketball for sure. But I will say there's 2 sports I had to learn in college when I took a coaching class, and they were basketball and softball. So softball is a lot harder than people give it credit for. I think you would all agree. And the ball is not soft. And even if you think you hit it really hard, I can promise you, one time I thought I just smacked that ball, and it went like 2 feet in front of me. I was like, oh, this game is no joke. And our teacher was actually the softball coach. So I have a lot of respect for it from all the way back in like 2002, 2003. And my question for you, Coach, is if you could bring the team on an end of season trip anywhere, money is no object, where would you bring the team and why?
is a great question. As a softball team, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say down Oklahoma for the World Series.
Okay, I like that. Did you guys like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Leah, what's your first question for me?
Who's someone that you look up to the most in life?
First and foremost, God, without question. It's how I built my business. It's who I talk to all day. I pray before every meal. And I honestly would not be here. Without God, I wouldn't be here. So I would say God for every reason of 38 years plus. And then I would say after that, G-Mama, my grandma that I mentioned, best human being that I know. I honestly think, knowing her humor and how good of a person she is, that she was almost 101. When she passed away and went up to heaven, I feel like she got up there and she looked over at Jesus and she went, time, to see like if she got there faster than he did. But yeah, I mean, I would say God without fail, and I don't know how you do it without him. And then my grandmother, because every day, everything she taught me is in effect every single day. And if I listen, I take care of myself. If I don't listen, then I usually let the world get to me a little bit. So let's say her. All right, Leah. You went deep on that question, so let's stay deep here. What is the first thing, if you could change anything, and sadly there's way too much in 2024, but if you could change anything about the world with the snap of your fingers, what's the first thing you would change?
That's a hard question.
There's a lot, yeah. There's a lot. Anything in the world.
Maybe like social media. Because I feel like some people get, like, that's like a hard topic for some people. And I feel like that, like, making it more diverse, I'd say.
Making it what it was supposed to be, which is bringing people
Bringing
together.
people together, yeah.
It's a good answer. I like that. Kyra, what's your first question for me?
What made you get into broadcasting?
Wanting to bring people together, wanting to be I'm a storyteller forever. So I've been writing stories since I was on my dad's word processor at 5 years old. So I would say storytelling. I like making people laugh. I like bringing people together. I like telling stories, and I like showing people that they're important. You know, I didn't ask Coach to do this because of a certain amount of wins. I didn't say, Coach will do this if you win a title, or Coach will do this if you're on a certain streak or something like that. I never once based the team on that. I based the team on the content of the character of the individuals and the collective. So I love people. I love making people laugh. I love telling stories. And I think the world should see a lot of people smiling, and maybe it'll change something. So that's why I do it. All right, Kyra. Well, I'm watching the show called Unfrosted, the movie on Netflix about the creation of the Pop-Tart. So I want to know your favorite snack, number one, and number two, the snack that you wish you could take from existence. So the snack that you could have every day, and then the snack that you would go into Wegmans right now and throw it in the trash.
I eat a lot of food. I feel like the snack I've been eating forever is definitely Cheez-Its. Extra toasty. Those are my favorite things in the whole entire world.
All right.
And then one snack I wish
Yeah. There's a correct answer to this, but
I don't know.
anything you could get rid of, any snack. I'll say mine after you say yours.
I'm trying to think of like snacks that my parents get.
Something that you tried that you were just like, ew, don't buy those again, Mom. Just don't do that again.
Celery.
Celery.
I hate celery.
Celery. Something healthy. I was going to say black licorice.
Oh, that's good.
Black licorice is disgusting. However, the only person that I know in the world that likes it is one of my godmothers, so shout out to my Auntie Lane. She keeps them in business, black licorice. So, Maria, what's your last question for me?
I don't want to like copy your question to coach, but if you could take your whole family or whoever is your favorite in your family, whoever you're close with or whatever, on a trip to anywhere in the world, where would you go?
I think about this all the time, and it's my answer a lot, but it's true, is that I would go to Italy and Spain to go see my family, and I would take my mom and dad, and I would take my dog Lily, because there's nobody cooler than her, and if there was a dog that ever could actually, like you found out, had a human soul, my dog is so very human, and she's just really cool. She's like, if she was here right now, she would be sitting in a chair. You wouldn't even know she was here. She'd just be like looking at the screen, behaving herself. So I'm gonna bring my dog and my parents to go see our family. All right, Maria, my last one for you. If you had to be followed around for the rest of your life, that every time you walked into a room, a song played, what song would play when you walk into the room?
Gosh, I don't know how to answer this.
Anything.
Like any type of music?
Anything in the world. It's, you walk into a room and this is your theme song. This is you.
I mean, I do listen to one worship song a lot, but I don't know if that's like representing me. I want to say, Dreams and Nightmares, but I don't, because I feel like I'm not always in the mood for it.
Okay. Not a bad song.
I'll stick to that, I guess.
Dream.
Huh?
Dreams. So we're gonna go with Dreams and Nightmares.
Yeah.
Okay. Leah, what's your question?
What's your favorite fast food place?
Boy,
There's one right answer.
Yeah,
there is one right answer. I'm not gonna say the ones that I do not appreciate, but Chick-fil-A
Thank you.
is, I mean, I work with Chick-fil-A, sister on Chick-fil-A Clay, and I do that because I told Jimmer when he came into town that he had no choice. We had to work together. But yeah, Chick-fil-A, and down south, Zaxby's is very good as well. Zaxby's. It's like, it looks like a rooster. It's like they have these chicken fingers that have different seasoning on it, little spicy. And they also have really good, I'm all about seasoning, and they season their fries with this really, really good dry sauce, so, or dry like shaker thing. So I'd probably say that down south, but overall, nobody does it like Chick-fil-A. All right, Leah, so I'm gonna stick with that since you agreed with me. So if you had one meal at Chick-fil-A that you had to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the rest of your life, I want you to paint the picture. I want the drink, I want the meal with the sides, I want it all.
Alright, starting off with a Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
It's the best.
It's also a correct answer, yeah.
I need a side of ice because I love Chick-fil-A's ice.
Okay.
Side of ice.
Which isn't crazy because some people have better water. Like water just tastes better. I don't know why. Okay.
That's called kind of what chicken nugget meal with large fry and extra Chick-fil-A sauce.
Extra. Are you always Chick-fil-A sauce?
Always.
Have you ever tried another one? Ever? You got to try the Polynesian. Where I rate it, it's my favorite. It's up top for me. Yeah. They changed it a little bit, but it's still up there for me. All right, Kyra, what do you got?
Who would you say is like your dream guest on the show?
My dream guest on Wake Up Call, so on the sports show, it would be, I'm not going to answer the same that I said a couple weeks ago, which was Mike Tyson, because I don't think anybody's really told this story the way I would. I don't think anybody does it the way I do it, and I would really like to tell Mike's story without like pushing my own ideas on him, just letting him tell it. But to give a different answer, I would say there's a lot of people I want on the show. I guess I would pick. Well, I'm going to pick somebody that I always wanted to talk to. And when I came back to Syracuse, we like missed each other. Is Brianna Stewart. I want to talk to her. She actually played basketball with my cousin Sammy, so I would like to talk with Brianna Stewart and just kind of pick her brain about everything she's done representing Central New York, adversity on and off the court, being one of the greatest players ever in the sport of basketball, not women's basketball, but basketball, and just what she feels like to represent the world for women and to really put our community on the map. So my question for you, Kyra, is if you had to take over my show for the day, and it was Wake Up Call, starring you, who are the 3 guests that you would have on if you took over the show tomorrow?
So this is like a sports thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is sports and entertainment, so if you want to pick entertainers, you could do that too.
Well, probably like maybe like Carly Lloyd from soccer, because I also play soccer, and I feel like I would really want to hear from her.
Okay. I like that.
Probably like Michael Jordan. I feel like he's really cool.
Okay.
Plays a lot of basketball. I don't know. Or maybe like Johnny French, because he plays softball. Obviously, he's one of like the best pitchers ever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a good room. I like that room. Coach, you got the last rapid fire here. What do you got?
What is the best advice that you've ever been given? Preferably from a coach, but it can be wider.
Best advice I've ever been given, preferably by a coach. Well, if I'm thinking of CYO over here, my coach, Coach Casalia, back in the day, when he was my coach, I didn't think he thought I was that good. I didn't think he, I didn't know if he thought I brought a ton to the team. I didn't know what he thought of me. And my varsity, my last year, my second year of varsity, he wasn't the coach anymore. And he was sitting in the stands because I played with his son Matt. And every time I got out on the floor, he looked at me and he goes, "When you're open, shoot it. Shoot it." He's like, you know you can. He's like, shoot it. And he had faith in my shot from wherever I was. And one time I ran by him on the court and he grabbed my shorts and he tugged on my shorts and he goes, "Shoot the dang ball." And I think that advice of, I know people say it all the time, and cliche also means more often than not that it's true. Shoot your shot, because when you don't shoot it, you regret it. And whether that's asking for a job, moving, chasing a career, starting a business, heck, asking somebody to prom, because we just had, prom recently. You gotta take your shot. And if you don't take it, so many people in life critique everyone who takes a shot. But so many people never take one. And so I say to people all the time, would you rather be the person on the field playing the game, or would you rather be the person in the stands saying you can play it better? I will always be on the field until the day I die. And I don't care what anybody has to say in the stands, because unless you want to come down and play me, your opinion doesn't matter to me. And if you want to come down and play me, I'm going to beat you. So Coach, my question back to you is, what's the best piece of advice you've ever given these wonderful young women?
Well, I think it's one, and I tell them pretty much every day, it's compete. So, and that translates whether it's on the field, in the classroom, or in life. It's compete. Be resilient. Continue to push, and don't settle for mediocrity.
continue to compete. Coach Bubb, as well as Maria here, Kyra, and Leah, the softball team for West Genesee Wildcats, celebrating the 2024 season, celebrating all of you, and celebrating new tattoos. So with that being said, let's clap it up for West Genesee one more time. Show some love for softball. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.